Texas!
He's a 10.
I choose this family.
Well, hey guys, welcome to episode 153 of 911 Lone Star Roundup. I'm one of your hosts, EJ, and with me are my lovely co-hosts, Katie and Grace.
Hey guys.
Hey. Today we're diving into 911 Season 9, Episode 2, called Spiraling. As always, we have so much to talk about, so let's get into it. The episode kind of starts definitely different than we've had in a very long time. They're kind of doing like documentary interview styles where they're talking with Athena and Hen, and we get to learn a little bit about the other people that are going up in space with them. Yeah, I think it's kind of like they're going to document it before and then they're going to document it after. So we meet Lewis. He's a high school football coach and a former astronaut who was apparently he was on a mission that ended up being canceled before they went up. So he always had dreamed of going to space but had never been able to. Then we have the gal that I so far don't like the most, which is Trisha.
Yep.
She's a health and wellness expert. She's basically a housewife, but she's not technically a housewife because she's only the fiance to Trip.
I'm like, Trip, if you want to get rid of your fiance, just break up with her. Don't send her into space.
Yeah, I know. You don't have to send her to space to get her out of here. And that's really the only reason why she got to go is because he wanted, and somehow they think she's a hero. I still haven't figured out the why of that.
Healing people's spiritual energy? I don't know.
I don't know. And then we also see Parker, who is a solar energy entrepreneur who is on the Forbes 30 under 30, which definitely is real. Like, he's
right.
That's a real thing. Like Forbes does have that because there's a lot of successful younger people.
But calling these people, minus like Hen and Athena, like your everyday heroes is like that's a bit much because
also,
like
if he hadn't gotten rescued, like if he hadn't gotten into that would not have had actual heroes on that mission. They would not, and he still would have called it that.
I will give the coach a pass.
Yeah, same.
Because I feel like many coaches and like especially high school athlete coaches, they tend to be sometimes the reason the kid can be successful. So I can totally understand that. But like
doing work with the youth kind of thing. Like, sure.
That I can understand. Trish or whatever her name is, I don't even care. This whole segment was a little cringy, but I don't know. And
this part when they were interviewing the actual people going up, I will say was a little cringy. I was thinking when we were talking about this beforehand, I was thinking more about the family being interviewed, like the friends and family being interviewed. But I think I blocked this out a little. Honestly, not that it was that bad. I just forgot about it. But Athena was the one where I was like, girl, could you look less like you want to be here?
It was funny though.
I know
it was really good.
And like,
why do I want to go?
Yeah, like this part was like a bit cringy.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the first time watching it, but like the second time I was like, oh, I don't really feel the need to have to watch this whole thing over again. I kind of just wanted to get to the point. And I love documentary episodes. I watch several shows that do them like I want to say like on a yearly basis, and I think they're done a lot well where like the whole episode is essentially like a documentary and you're just like, oh, this is weird, but like also cool at the same time.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing. So before we get more, go 18 hours earlier and we see the Han and Wilson family having dinner, and Denny is just like spouting out facts about space, and then Karen is, they're obviously spouting out the truth about the facts that he's trying to share. But then Karen kind of gets up and leaves, and Maddie follows her. Maddie asks Karen if she's okay, and Karen says, of course she's not okay. She admits that she's not jealous per se of Hen because she's happy for her. Because she gets, she's going to get to experience something that most people never will. She just, in the long run, I think no matter how she feels about Trip and stuff, I think she's wishing she could share it with Hen in that way. And Hen is not going to get to experience that with her.
She I think it's very much it's a once in a lifetime, not even like many people will never get that in their lifetime event, and they can't do it together. And like there's probably also the added like bitterness of she always wanted to do, like that was her dream that she gave up. So like first of all, I love everything with Karen in this episode. Go off Queen. I'm so glad they gave Tracy all this screen time in an arc that she should have been featured in. I'm so glad they still found a way to feature her. Also, she fucking acted her socks off on this like entire time, and I'm just glad that they are exploring that instead of just kind of leaving it at the one time for being like, oh no, I can't because it's not a good look. He's not a real scientist. We're having lawsuits. I'm glad they're actually sticking with it.
Yeah, I'm glad they did too, because you don't want to just say that and then turn around the next episode and be like, oh yeah, she's going.
Yay!
That would not be a good look. And I honestly, like in my mind, I have an idea of how that whole thing is gonna go too. Maybe it won't become reality, but I just have like this little feeling in my brain.
Oh yeah, I have some theories. We will.
Yeah.
I'll probably mention a few throughout the episode.
Also, we love watching the Han Wilson friendship continue in this way. We love seeing it.
Yeah, I love that like this is like something that they do and stuff. And
also, I feel like usually we see them in like Maddie and Chimney's space, at least the time I'm thinking of. So it's nice to see them in the Wilson household.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I might be wrong, but still, that's like what I remember is them being
I feel like a few times we did. Maybe like more recently.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I know after everything that happened last season, that was the whole like earlier season 7. Wow, is that season 7 already? Wow. Or was that 8 with the whole Senator debacle and whatever?
Oh gosh, early season 8, I think.
Okay, yeah.
We're back to season 8 feeling like 3 separate seasons. So
yeah,
I feel that. Yeah, so it's really good to see that they kind of honored what they said they were going to do, is to keep close, because it seemed like Mara and G really got close, or got to be had a friendship, and they didn't want that to break up and stuff. So I'm really glad they stuck with it.
Yeah. Plus Jim Hen friendship.
Yes, always. So then we go to a scene with Harry and May, and I was trying to think back, and I feel like this is the first ever scene where it's just been the two of them and no one else of the main cast.
I think you're right.
First one in a while, at minimum.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to remember where they haven't where they haven't been like walked in on by someone else from the main cast, or
that's true.
Yeah.
I can't think of any.
So I say that because it made me think like, okay, this is the second generation kind of like for the series, like the younger, what we first met as kids in, season 1 are now, like coming into being adults, and, we know as these two actors are become season regulars. So I
am looking forward to more of these kinds of scenes if they're series regulars now. Love this.
Right. So they start out, they're at the coffee shop. Harry is on a break at work, and he's talking about how he's the irresponsible one, but Athena ghosts them for months on some undercover thing. Now she's pretending to be an astronaut, like she's some Neil Armstrong or Katy Perry or something.
You guys, I love the Katy Perry dig. Yes. I was not expecting them to do this, but I loved it.
I was like, oh, we're not just like,
I'm like,
we're not just implying it. We're just gonna go full in
to do it.
I'm like, I loved it. I heard that. I was like, oh, okay.
Right. Well, and it also kind of answers like the decides that what Katy Perry did is actually in the universe. So this trip is not whoever created whatever she went on. I don't know, don't care. And I was like,
I think it was Bezos, but
was it Bezos?
So I'm low-key curious.
Yeah.
I think it was Bezos.
Right.
Because it sounds like a Musk thing, but it was not. That's the reason.
Blue Origin sent Katy Perry to space as its new Shepard rocket company funded by Jeff Bezos. This is literally spot on, because it also says carried Lauren Sanchez, who is engaged to Bezos. Okay, that is like Trisha and Trip. They went there.
No way.
Yeah, this is why I wanted to look that up.
And wasn't one of the women that went on that also like a astronaut?
There was an actual astronaut on that, yeah.
Which would have been the astronaut that was
at least one.
That okay. Anyway, wow, like you learn something new every day.
At least not to make it sound better, but they had all women going. Where in this we have like
that's true.
3 women and 2 men, which nothing wrong with that.
At least there's the majority, but
right. So Harry goes on in the scene to complain that like all he did was drop out of high school. He's like, she's dropping off the face of the planet.
That was funny. That line was really good.
I was like, and May says like, well, they're only going to be up there for a few hours because they're not going into outer space. They're going into lower atmospheric area. They're not fully going out. And so Harry goes to May and it's like, so you're okay with this? And May's like, it's kind of weird. It's like she decided to go bungee jumping and Athena Grant does not bungee jump.
I loved how she said that because it's like so spot on. And like Athena, I get it. Like I am not like adventurous and that sort of thing at all. So like, yeah, totally understand.
And so then, Harry's like, what is up with her? And, May says she doesn't know, but maybe she wanted to do something to feel alive again. And Harry's talking about how she's not the one who died. And May says she lost her husband. And Harry is like, well, it's not the first one. I mean, technically he's not wrong, but he is wrong because
he said it's not the first time,
right? And it's like, I mean,
and
yeah.
What was the fiance's name? Everett.
Emmett.
Or Emmett. Emmett was her fiance, but he did die. Yeah,
true. That's true.
So sort of incorrect and sort of correct.
Yeah, and May,
but also, yeah, as she should, because Harry. As much as I understand, there's a lot of nuance around this. Like, a lot of nuance. I don't think he was fully in the wrong. But also, Harry! Yeah. Come on, man!
Yeah, he's really struggling. And I'm glad May calls him out and saying that it was mean for him to say what he did. And, he says that he can't seriously be that mad at her. And Harry says that he doesn't know who he's mad at, but he's definitely not mad at May.
Good, because she ain't done anything.
Right. And then May's like, well, you should have told me that, you were thinking of dropping out of high school. And Harry's like, what? So you could talk him out of it? And May says she would have told him there were easier ways of getting her attention. And Harry says he didn't do it to get her attention. He made a choice. He's an adult and he can do that. Like Dad made a choice to save kids in another country, and like Bobby made a choice to save his team, and Athena's making a choice. And I think just it boils down to he doesn't want to lose her too.
Yeah. And also some abandonment issues in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
hey, maybe talking to Buck would not be a bad idea.
Right? Yeah. Honestly, I saw somebody say this, and they were like, so basically, this is a lot, but they were like basically saying how like Athena's doing what the Buckley parents did after Daniel died. And although I don't totally completely agree, I get what they mean by that.
Yeah, like I don't agree, but they're also not like 100% wrong. Like there is a comparison there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't 100% agree with that, but I totally understand like what they mean by that. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people be like, Harry shouldn't be talking like this. That's his mother, blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, first of all, he's an adult. He's not saying it to Athena, and he can vent his feelings to his sister, even if they come out harsh. Everyone says things sometimes that are very harsh about something as like a coping mechanism or a way to vent or something. Doesn't necessarily mean you mean it, but like also his feelings are valid, just like if Athena had some sort of feeling about whatever, that would be valid. Like this is a form of grieving. And also like he was young when her and Bobby like got together and that kind of stuff, so like he grew up with Bobby as a father figure, as a father. So like this is like
almost half of his life. Because they're married for what, 9 years, and like he's only 18. So yeah. Like no, I think it is also worth mentioning that like grief's not pretty and it's not perfect. People do a lot of things that are stupid or kind of mean or stuff like that. Like it's not great, but I think Harry also knows it's not fair, but he's dealing with it, and it's okay. It's okay that he's going through it.
Yeah. Well,
like honestly, I don't know how May's as composed as she is. Like, geez, girl.
I feel like there's always that person like either holds it together on purpose for everyone else, or is just like holding it, whatever they're doing. Like they have to be the stable one, and then everyone else just like falls apart.
I feel like she might be in one of those spaces where she doesn't feel like she could fall apart because she's trying to keep track of her mom and also trying to keep track of her brother. Like,
right.
And also be a full-time student.
Yeah. Like she's a little bit, not to put shade on anyone necessarily, but she's a little bit being put into the parentified older sibling in this.
Oh, for sure.
And I do feel bad for her for that she's not truly getting as much of a college experience, because it does seem like she's taking care of her mom and her brother in some ways, shape, or form.
I'm hoping she got that more because she is a senior. I'm hoping she managed to get that a little bit more like before all this catastrophe went down. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I think I do like that they're playing into the messiness of everything without it feeling like it's there for drama necessarily. Like, obviously it's there for drama, like it's all there for drama, but it's also like these are legitimate things that could happen in real life, and it's not just
Right. It's realistic.
it's actually having
drama.
it's having conversations, and I like when they have conversations with a little sprinkle of drama.
Yeah. So then we go from the kids to Hen and Athena are out drinking. It seems like this is the night before, and they're out drinking at a bar.
This scene
I
was
love
amazing.
this scene. This is like this. I know it's like this, not the same vibe, but it reminded me of in Hen Begins, where her and Athena and like those
We're out with like the
other
crew.
cops were like all out at the bar or whatever. It reminded me of that, but like just like a little bit different. This is like more of like, let's get drunk, let's whatever, what the hell were we doing?
Like,
kind
I
of
was just like,
vibe.
ladies,
Yeah.
ladies. Anyway.
And I need more stuff like this.
Yeah. Athena's like,
please,
you
this
know,
was fantastic.
Right? I know. Athena's like, everyone thinks us going into space is a terrible idea. And Hen's like, no, that's not true. They think me taking you is a terrible idea. And then Athena's like, because I'm a jinx. And Hen is like, because you're a jinx.
So glad they actually acknowledged this.
Even Athena was like, yeah, that's true. She is. She's had a terrible track record when it comes to all forms of non-land-based transportation.
Yes, I love that they brought up the fact of Athena being a jinx. Like, they were just bringing up being like the fact of jinx into normal conversation. Like, right? I loved it.
I love how even Hen after so we've had the cruise ship and the plane, and then Hen is talking about their facts, and if she's like, if I'm honest, I'd think twice about taking a train with you too. And Athena talks about how she's a curse, and Hen agrees, of course.
They're drunk off their asses.
Oh god, like, yes, this is freaking hilarious.
So funny.
And Athena says she could die because she took Athena with her, and Hen says, I really could, and why do you think I redid her will?
And I'm just like, I love the mention of the will, but not the one we've been asking about for seasons.
Right.
Like, nope, that's never gonna get mentioned again. But
I'm certain.
And I'm like, well, first of all, Hen, when did you last redo your will? And also, what did you have to, I guess maybe include Maya, I don't know, but I'm like, what did you have to change?
Right. Well, they did add Mara in recently, so that could be adding her in. But
yeah,
but you would think like for an adoption that they would have already. I don't know if you have. I'm sure you have to do some legality thing.
I don't know. Possibly.
I don't know. I mean, you're not legally obliged to put anybody in a will. So, like, you could cut your kids out of it. You could cut anybody out of it. Like,
for the fact of, like, what were to happen to them, I'm almost certain that you have to do that.
Yeah, that does kind of make sense.
I don't know. Like, it makes sense, but that doesn't mean they do it. So, I don't know. Perfectly possible. But anyway, it was really funny. Like, this whole fucking scene.
Yeah, I know. And then they're cheersing to not dying tomorrow.
Or dying tomorrow, like...
Yeah. And so we get the next morning, kind of right before launch. Trip is alerted to a geomagnetic storm. Somebody comes up, and then they're like talking to him about it. He's like, well, what's the percentage of it's actually going to happen? Like, and I don't remember the exact percent they gave, but he's
43.7.
Yeah. And they're like, he's like, well, tell me when it's this. And he was just like totally like not caring. And they're like, well, we should scrub the launch. We should cancel it. He's like, I'm not going to cancel it. And of course, he's all looking at it as a PR stunt. Like, he's not even looking at it as like not realizing that, oh, gosh, I'm putting 5 people up there. There's a chance that like some sort of geomagnetic storm could happen and cause problems.
Oh, no, he doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
Like, dude, if you want to get rid of your fiance that bad, just break up with her. Sorry, this is my running line for this entire episode, because why the hell are you this dumb?
And then before we get more from him, we see a little bit more of the documentary like interviews, but this time they're interviewing the 118 and Athena's kids, and it was really kind of cute. Like, I mean, they did really good, and they were all positive and excited for him. And I love how Buck was asked about Athena.
It was so
Mhm.
cute. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, you didn't forget the bonus child.
Right. And so
Yeah.
the groups, since there's 5 people going, there's 5 different groups kind of having like a live watch of this launch. So there's TV at the 118, so everybody's sitting around the TV watching while they're being recorded watching the launch. And then as kind of they're just starting to then Karen gets a phone call from one of her colleagues and finds out about the geomagnetic storm. And she's like, well, why isn't he aborting?
They're
And
like they're in like the last 10 before countdown or something, like the
like
last
so
10, 20.
close.
And she's just like, what? What? And this is when I was like, oh, so this is gonna be like spicy, spicy. Like she knows about.
Yeah. And they're watching it, and he's like, so as it goes up, he's like, I think they made it. And Jim's like, well, how can you tell?
That was so funny.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't fallen back down yet, and there's not been a kaboom. So
Right.
we will count those as having made it.
Yes.
Like,
So they do end up making it to lower Earth orbit, and which is cool. And then they lose gravity, so they're like floating. And then before they can really like enjoy the moment, out of one of the windows they see what looks to be a satellite coming right towards them, and they get collided with a satellite, and they lose contact with everybody. Well, so of course,
and are sent into a spin.
yeah.
I forget exactly what they called it, but
All right.
it's not a good thing. It's a spin that cannot, like, they can't break out of it.
Yeah, and they also we're getting sent further out into space because of the inertia from the being hit. It sent them off course. And then, so Karen's back on the phone, and, Karen's talking to her colleague, and she's like, he had to know, right? And then Chim shows up, and he's like asking, like, what's going on? And Karen explained that Trip launched them into a geomagnetic storm. And Chim is asking if that's bad as it sounds. And Karen says how she is finding out. Then her friend is able to kind of give her like enough to say that the capsule's okay. But now they're spinning out of control. They have no way to get in contact with Trip's mission control. And I love how they're like, let's just try unplugging it and plugging it back in. I mean, not like it's not one of the normal computer things to do.
It's not a TV or a computer.
Or a computer. And then,
but also, I didn't know you could unplug a rocket and plug it back in. Like, I'm like, can you do that?
Right. And then I think what
also,
was also
kids, this might not be a real rocket thing either. Like, you might not be able to do it.
Well, and then we get this moment where Karen is calling Trip, and like the PR lady is trying to tell him who it is, and he's like, yeah, who's that? Like, why does that name sound familiar? Yeah, because it's the wife of the woman you just sent up into space. And then
she works for,
and she loves, yeah. So he tells her he's like, oh well, just tell her everything's fine. And yeah, and she's like, yeah, she's not gonna take that seriously because who she works for, she's gonna know. So they basically are trying to avoid that because they don't want to deal with the lawsuits and already that they have against who Karen works with.
Right, because they're not supposed to talk to each other or whatever as lawsuits go.
But he took that and was like, oh good, I don't have to talk to her because just tell her.
Pretty much, that was an excuse.
My bad.
And that is not.
I'm like, I didn't even think of that being an actual reason. I was just like, oh no, he doesn't even like give a shit about the actual technicalities, but he just is avoiding her. Like he would pretend to not have any, I don't know, service or something to avoid talking to her. So this man is so punchable. Just saying.
He is. He could have just stayed in the mouth of the whale for all I care.
Oh yeah, like
send him up in orbit.
Literally, just like this whale needs to come back and just come back for seconds and eat him up. And like actually eat him this time. Yep. Just like get to it, whale.
Yep.
Do it, or like get some of your shark buddies or something along those lines. Like, come on.
So then we get this moment. Buck and Harry are on the balcony, kind of overlooking the station, and they're seeing Karen and Chim down by the engine bay doors talking on the phone and talking amongst each other. And Harry makes a comment that he's like, I knew something bad was going to happen. And Buck says they don't know anything. Harry says how he does, and Buck knows how Karen is probably just trying to get information. And Harry says how he can't do another funeral. And I love how Buck was trying to comfort him, and he was trying to say things like, they lost communication, and that could just be for a number of reasons. Like he's trying to calm him down. And, he's like, Buck's like, take a deep breath, try not to spin out while the spacecraft is spinning out.
Yeah, that was a great cut.
Yeah.
Also, more of these, please.
Yes,
more of these. Yeah. More Harry and Buck scenes. I want to watch Buck being an older brother, like kind of figure. I need this, actually. I didn't know I needed this before, but I need it.
So then we see the spacecraft is still spinning out, which they kind of like through yelling at each other across the room. Parker is able to kind of get to the center console and like plug it back in, but then he ends up getting hurt. And then Hen's like trying to fix him by not having any medical equipment. And Trisha just happens to have a fitness watch that Trip gave her that, can checks all the heart rate and oxygen sensing and all that stuff. So they put it on
And
him.
also checks that the vibes are good.
Oh my God.
And by the way, the vibes in here are not good.
I was cringing so much of that. Like, I just tried to, like, pretend that wasn't
Ignore
out there, which it's not that, like, I don't know. It was just, like, too much, I guess.
Like, listen, there are a lot of people I want put into space in this episode, and Trisha is not actually one of them. But I did wish she would just go sit over there.
Yeah.
Like, just go sit over there. I can't.
Right. So they end up having to strap him down because Ken needs to do CPR, but she's not able to because he's floating in space, and they all are. So they end up having to strap
Zero
him
gravity.
down. And she starts doing CPR, but ends up that's not enough to get him back. So she has to start basically punching him in the chest to get his heart to reset. Yeah, this is a little stupid, but it's very 911-esque. I know Grace. I can see Grace is like stewing right now.
Listen, I will say right now, I don't know if the whole punch to the chest thing would even work. The reason someone goes into cardiac arrest is because the electrical system in the heart stops working. You need a shock. What do you mean you're gonna punch someone? Now, again, I do not know if that would actually work.
I've seen it,
but also there's no way that
CPR
was effective.
Like in like desperate situations where they don't have like a defibrillator that like supposedly
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna ask my instructor. I'm gonna ask my instructor tomorrow if it is a thing that I am going to class to practice CPR tomorrow. I am going to ask my instructor if that is a thing that can happen.
I've seen on so many medical shows. I'm like, it must be something like in desperate situations. And also, like, how are they going in space with like no like medical equipment? Like, they have nothing. Right.
Well, and they had no control panel. Like, they didn't even have the stop button. Like, seriously, like they had to
basically just decorative. Right. It was just a decorative rocket.
Yeah, and they had to like use a penny or something to unscrew the panel to get to like the motherboard. I was like, oh my God, this is so stupid.
Oh yeah, the coin. So I think it's worth like it's a little thing, but like this guy who was an astronaut that never got to go up, he likes to make a thing about like, oh, he's totally over it. He like it doesn't bother him anymore, but it clearly still bothers him that like the Apollo 18 got scrubbed. But he had this commemorative coin, and he's like, they made out commemorative coins for things that didn't happen. He's like, I made one. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? It helped.
Yeah,
it helped. This whole scene.
Yeah. So back on Earth, we see that Karen is becoming aware that all of a sudden the shuttle is not spinning anymore. She's like, she has to go. They're trying to figure out how to communicate, and she has the kids stay at the station. But unfortunately, the tones go off, and so everyone, even though the station was supposed to be offline for the day in honor of the space flight, they had to go back to work because there were more satellites crashing to the ground, and there was emergencies all over the city. So
also on the topic of parentified older sibling, May getting stuck watching all.
Yeah, I know. May ends up staying and watching the kids.
Which I mean,
she did
much help.
She did offer,
Yeah, she offered, like, that was completely, but I did watch that and was like...
And it's not like she's, like, taking care of, like, these toddlers that are gonna be running all over the place, causing chaos. Yeah. Like, they are, like,
Like, it was perfectly fine, and, like, she could, like, Denny's old enough that he could help as well. Like, it was all fine, but it was about, like, briefly my brain went, well... But no, it was actually, it was fine.
So they find out...
Bless her for offering.
Yeah, so they find out the entire department is put on tactical response, which means that all the firefighters go out in their trucks, kind of just going around to see if there's anything they can help with. And Harry is like, he doesn't want to stay with the kids, but he feels like he wants to do something. And so Buck suggests he comes with them. And Chim's like, no, Buckley. But like, he's freaking out. He's like, I figured it would be better for him to do it here instead of in front of Hen's kids, which fair. And then Chim's like, but he's a kid. And Eddie I love Eddie making the good point. It's like, Chris was 8 when we took him on a ride along. And Buck's like, Harry is 18. Chim's like, fine, get in. It's just like, oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
And Harry asked them what they think's going on out there, and Chim's like, just the end of the world.
Chim, you're not.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. He's also not helping.
Right.
But yeah, essentially, this is just Doomsday.
Yeah. So they end up driving around, and it's just like they're there to do their jobs. And Harry's like, what is his job? And Chim says to stay in the engine and to not annoy me.
That was honestly valid.
Right.
Yes.
So I love that they brought Karen in as like a major player in this like arc, because like this is so good. Like, so Karen and her colleagues show up to the call center, and like they're talking to Maddie, and they're like trying to figure out how to connect to the satellite. And Trip's satellites are not the only, or not satellite, the ship by satellite. And there's not just one satellite up there. There's a gazillion. Trips were the ones that were falling to the earth, but there were others up there. And they're like, can we borrow the phone?
Yeah,
and I
even
love-
before that, like I
Yeah.
love the moment where like they walk in and like all these people are calling with like ridiculous like
Oh,
scenarios.
yes.
And
Yep.
I
The
love
guy
him
getting locked out of
asking.
his car, and then he can't
Yeah.
get into his home to get the keys because his like home is also locked out because it's a smart home. It's like, and this is why
Yeah.
we don't let the robots take over,
Well,
people.
Yeah, no more
like,
Hildy.
Yeah,
Oh my
literally.
Hildy.
But I love like
Wait, what
him
if
just
What if Trip invented Hildy?
I don't know about that one.
I know, but that would be
I
be
don't
funny.
know. Yeah, I love like them just walking into like pure chaos, and like her coworker just being like is it like always like this? And Carrot's like, well, I would hope not. And Sue's just like, well, you'd be surprised.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so they're talking about how he opens up this box, and it's like basically a satellite phone from like the 90s, late 90s. And I love how Karen is explaining, like she's talking about like Trip satellites are different. They can try and contact them by going through different satellites, but they're only going to have like a very short, like 12 to 15-minute window to talk to them. So they're trying to figure out how to, but they end up, I can't remember exactly the steps, but like somebody had to go up on this roof, which he didn't
Carrie
want to
did.
go up on there because he's like, things are falling out of the sky. I don't want to go up there.
Well, it was just like, who's gonna go? Because like this has to be like installed essentially outside the building. Who's gonna go up there? And I love Terry's face, just
Yeah.
being like, "I'm going out there, aren't I?" And I hadn't realized that, like, because I
Poor
kind
Terry.
of like forgot about him, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
right, Terry." Like, and I looked it up. He hadn't been on an episode since like season 5, so that's like wild.
Okay.
Yeah, because like all the times I remember him are generally like season 2, season 3-esque. But I feel like he was in the dispatch center when Eddie was working there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Like I feel
he
like that's
was.
when we last saw him. Because didn't he save Terry? Or do I have that wrong? I don't
Well,
remember.
there
It's
was
been so
taking
long.
of dispatch.
It's a
He
fire.
was hurt during
He
taking of
was. Maybe
dispatch,
that's when. But I'm
which
also
was
thinking
season
of the
4
fire.
or season 3. But then there was the fire in season 5. Yeah.
Yeah, he
And he
was
was
in
there.
I
season
think he was
5.
hurt somehow.
Well, actually, he was in every season except for season 4, and then the season 7 and 8 and stuff. He was in 1, 2, and 3, and 5.
Oh, okay. Anyway, good to see him again. Been a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, for sure. So because it's a satellite phone, they have to like have direct access, so they have to make the call from outside the building. But then before we get there, kind of working on what they're doing, we see the 118 finding their call, which is weird. There's a self-driving car that's spinning in circles because it's stuck in
Poor
like an
dispatch.
intersection. Because the design of the car is it can't go past like a double line, and so this guy is in this car, and I think he's probably getting a little dizzy and wanting to throw up by now because he's been spinning forever.
Yeah, they're like the Waymos, which I've seen tons of videos on, and I'm like, I would not step my foot in one of those ever, just because I've
I
heard
don't know that you
like
can pay me enough.
I've heard so many like for the most part they're pretty safe and stuff like that, but then you hear about those like horror stories. Like I saw one, it was from a different show. I don't even know what show it is because I just saw a clip of it online. Where basically it drove this guy into like a truck, like just imagine like a moving truck or something, and then it went like on something else, and like he was just trapped.
Oh, thank
And
you.
those are the things I think of, and it's just like sometimes like because I've seen videos of people like riding it, and And then like sometimes it won't do certain things, so then you have to call like support and they'll have to be
No
like,
thanks,
"Oh,
I'll walk.
we see what happens or we
Right.
see what's going on, like we'll try to get you like on your way and like that kind of thing."
I will
So at
go
least
horse
there's
and
that.
buggy before I have to rely on those.
So the guys end up having like figure out they have to use sandbags to draw a line, two lines together, so they can kind of like skirt the car into smaller areas so it stops moving. I was like, I felt so bad for the guy once he gets out. Like he's literally like standing there shaking. Just can't.
Yeah.
It was funny.
I can't blame the guy.
Honestly, yeah, like it reminds me of like those rides you go on that are just like spinning. And every
Yes.
time I would go on those, my face would start like shaking. And I'm
Yeah.
like, why did I get on this? I literally can't, like, I
Right.
hate this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like while he's complaining and saying he's getting a 0, like giving a 0 for the rating, an asteroid or some sort of space junk lands and hits him in the head. And he like
Yeah,
collapses.
and it burns
Yeah.
the car before that.
Oh god.
It wasn't that car though. It hit a different car.
Well, yeah, I don't remember. I do remember seeing it, but I don't remember exactly what happened in that like clip.
I just remember it was a different looking car. That's why it stuck out to me. But yeah, that was really unfortunate. That just hit him in the forehead. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Like, is that because
that's unfortunate.
yes, the universe is
That
like
just makes
that's not a
that
0,
just makes it
right?
The universe is laughing.
Right?
it's going hee hee ha ha. It
Yeah.
made me think of the episode where that the girl had the asteroid go through her.
Oh yeah, and Buck is like spinning off these facts. And it's like Buck just went through the tsunami. So
Yeah.
he just loves facts.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he had near death experience, so he just knows a lot of the.
Yeah.
Now he has had many more near death experiences.
Yes, yes. So after Terry gets the phone hooked up, Maddie ends up having to call Trip, tells her that this isn't a good time, and she says, not even if I can connect you to the Inara, and Trip questions how they called 911. But she's like, they didn't. And Trip connects it, and they're able, of course, he's like, of course they called 911. But they didn't. It was that they connected to him. And I love how like they're calling and was it Hen's phone that was ringing? Just like it's Karen. Like what?
In the air. Well,
Yeah.
she didn't know it was Karen until they started talking because the caller ID
Yeah.
just said 911.
Oh yeah. So I was like, okay, what? I couldn't
Yeah.
remember what it came up as.
They're just like, whose phone is ringing? Like, it shouldn't be working. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Well, I
love how
think it's because, like, obviously they're doing satellite, but even
Yeah.
then, even if your phone has no service, you're always able to connect to 911.
yes.
Yeah, because that is, I think, satellite based.
Yeah.
Instead of cell tower. Which I do like that they moved that. Side note, that was a great thing that they did
Yeah.
for that.
And another one of my favorite lines is about to come up, whereas like Maddie does end up connecting Trip to Karen, and he's like, who's Karen Wilson? And she's like, and Karen's like, the woman who's about to save your undeserving ass.
Oh my God, the amount of
Yeah.
edits I've seen to that specific line, every time I'm like, yes, Queen, like, yes, Karen, like, yes, finally they're utilizing. It's just funny because like people
She
have been
is the moment.
wanting Henren and like to be like the focus of episodes, and people are like complaining about this storyline, and it's just like you guys have been wanting like this for years, yet you're complaining. I like, even if we don't love what they're doing, like we're getting this. So honestly, no complaints.
Right.
Honestly, let's be real. You can never appease some people. Listen, Karen Wilson is being the moment, and I love that for her. She is.
Absolutely.
She is. Oh my gosh, I love her so much. But I just love that they're getting not even just like we love when Hen gets more screen time too, like obviously, but she is one of the main characters. So just watching Karen get this, I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Like yeah, and Hen's just in the background, like, yes, that is my brilliant rocket scientist.
Right. Before we go on with that, we get the 118 getting the guy to the hospital, and while they're at the hospital, they're like in chaos. People's pacemaker apps are malfunctioning. The whole like
just everything happened
offline, like it's going crazy. And the obviously because most of the medical equipment was created by Trip's company, so it's all networked to the same satellites that are currently crashing all over the world. And then they have this medical robot that's like going bonkers and like has a laser and it's like hitting stuff, and Buck ends up getting stuck inside with with it. They have
It's
to
also
break the
throwing
glass.
like it's also
Yes.
throwing stuff.
Yeah. They end up smashing it with an axe, which I love how like they told Harry to stay in the truck, but then Chim's like, Harry, bring the axe.
Bring a sledgehammer
And
and
an
the
axe.
axe.
I love it.
And they were like, kill a robot. And like, us? Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's right.
So yeah, so it is Hen. Hen gets the call from 911, which the phone is just floating kind of in the air. And it's Karen, and they're like so excited when they connect. And Karen tells her that she can't believe she went to space without her. And Karen asks if everyone is okay, and Athena says they're all alive. Athena says we're not okay. Like, what the hell happened? And Karen explains that a geomagnetic storm happened. It's like a space hurricane. And Hen tells Athena she really can't take her anywhere.
I loved that. Just like the call out, like, yes, like that is so funny and
Yep.
so true.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, I don't know if I don't know if we've gotten to this point. I don't know when it happens, but when Trip fucking tries to blame Noah
yeah,
for
I think we
the,
passed that,
like,
but yeah,
yeah. I was just thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, that feels like
right.
another
Yeah,
call out of
and we
today.
did miss this part too. Is Trip decided to have all of the camera crews that were at all the different viewing
Yes.
places leave, so they didn't have recordings of them getting death notifications or anything like that. I'm like, oh my god, this guy is all about saving his own ass.
And it's just like, I will personally escort you to space. Like, just,
Eject.
yeah.
Eject.
Eject off the planet.
Right. So Karen tells Hen they're gonna get her home, but they only have a few minutes before they lose connection, so they have to move fast. So Maddie patches them into Trip's mission control. Trip asks, "Oh, how are you?" And Athena's like, "Angry. How did you not know about this space hurricane?"
I loved that line. Just like the way she just went off on him. I was like,
Oh my
valid.
gosh. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, this is actually the scene
Oh,
where
yeah,
Noah
you're
comes
right.
in.
And then
Okay, I thought we'd passed it. That was my bad.
right. And he doesn't initially recognize her voice, so he's like, "Who is this?" And they say, "Yeah, that's the cop." And Trip tells her
His face.
that he's like, somebody underestimated the threat. Yeah, no, he totally
It was Noah.
underestimated it.
He blamed it on Noah, and it was like, no. They were like, I think he said something. Noah said it was like a 10% chance, and the flight director, who was the one who told him it was a 43.7% chance, is looking at him like, bitch.
Blaming anybody but himself.
Naturally.
And then Lewis calls him out. He's yelling at him about adding, giving them a control panel inside the, shuttle would have been nice, so they could have, maybe manually started it and returned back. And then they're like trying to kind of like piece together and figure out how they can like move different circuit boards around and like reroute things to get them to like turn on. There's still a way to like return it to base, so to speak, but they have to activate it, and they were having a hard time. But of course, once they kind of start getting all this to work, then there's fire that starts coming out the vents in the shuttle, and of course they lose connection again because their time was up on the satellite call. And it's going to be at least another hour before they can get him. And that's when the episode ends. And we were talking about beforehand, and this honestly to me felt like when I watched the Two Towers for the first time, I was like, that's it? What? Isn't there more? Because it was like the middle of like the two movies or the three movies. So
yeah, it's just like, when the credits rolled, I just went,
No, like I was just like so into the episode that by the time we got to that part, I was just like, wait, we're at the end? Like it was just like,
yeah.
oh.
Yeah. It's like, what do you mean I have to wait another week?
I hope they pay the PR gal well.
No, at this point, PR gal, walk out.
This is
Save your own
what
reputation
I
at this
predict
rate.
is going to happen. Maybe it won't happen, and I just like, or maybe it won't happen, but I just have like these feelings, like so. He's trying to repair his reputation. Oh, this is gonna go way worse for him because something bad is going to happen. Obviously, I mean something bad has already happened because like yeah, like we literally end and like the ship is or the ship the aircraft is like catching on fire,
right?
and like
See,
nothing is happening,
and the fire suppression wasn't working,
and so like this is what I think is gonna happen. So like basically like something bad's gonna happen, whatever, and then like he's gonna be forced to whatever lawsuit's going on. He's gonna be forced to like just default on that, and like they're gonna win over him because like this is bad. You're not repairing your reputation, buddy.
See, the question is do we think they're going to go realistic with the ending or unrealistic with the ending? Because the unrealistic outcome is him facing consequences. The realistic outcome is him getting away because he has money and can pay off people and buy his way out of lawsuits and shit. Like, just saying.
I
I'm
feel
interested
like
in this.
the way that we've gone thus far, especially with the beginning of the episode of the first one about the board basically deciding if they wanted to keep the company going or not, or how whatever they were dealing with, and not like wanting to keep Trip going like on, it makes me feel like they're gonna kind of like lift their hands and be like, no, we're not on your side anymore, like we're done.
Yeah,
Well, it's the
he's
only
gonna
way.
lose either way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's gonna face consequences in some degree. So hopefully. I'm very curious to see how they resolve that. I'm just very curious to see how they're gonna bring this all back around. I have a feeling it's gonna be a very action-packed episode next.
Yeah.
Next time.
So like overall, what do you guys think of the episode?
I mean, I liked it. It was interesting. There were a few parts that I was just like, okay, we're doing this, but I thought it was good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it felt very typical 911, and I mean that in a good way. I think my only reservation is how are we going to end this? Like
Right.
it's so far-fetched. It's such a far-fetched storyline. Everything they're doing is so far-fetched. Like as far as the rescue, what is actually happening in space, like even the like medical helper thing. Am I salty about the CPR? Yes. Anyway, but like, how are they gonna fix the shuttle being on fire with no suppression
Right.
system and not have it just feel like convenient plot device? Like I just want them, like obviously they're not going to kill off Hen and Athena. But I
Right.
just want them to somehow make it feel past realistic, but doable? Question
Yeah.
mark? Do you guys feel me on that?
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying.
No, I
But
did feel
I,
that.
I do think if they end this upcoming episode well, and they have a strong fourth episode, kind of feeling like we're getting back into the swing of things. So
I know.
I know.
I love these episodes, but at the same time, it feels like sometimes that we're wasting so much time on like an arc when I'm
Yeah.
just like I want to get to like normalcy. So
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
want it to
And that's
end strong so that way it's not like, wow, we spent
Right.
3 weeks on a stupid space mission that was stupid.
Yeah.
And at the end of this, I will still, no matter what I think of the whole arc, and I already have better impression of it than I ever thought I would. No
Right.
matter how we
Yeah.
end this arc, though, I will still say every time that would have made far more sense to have a wildfire and earthquake. And they could have had just as much, if not more,
For sure.
commentary, relationship, drama. Yeah. I will say that no matter how this ends. But I am hoping for a strong ending. So yeah, I think this was not a letdown as far as the middle episode goes. What do you
Yeah,
think,
no,
Ethan?
I think it was. I think it was a good episode. I mean, it was a pretty standard episode. Again, it was like, I felt like there was needed to be more, but I'm like, obviously, this is like the second of a 3 episode arc, and it was good. There's some funny parts. There were some serious moments. Definitely some unrealistic things happening. Definitely did not like what Trip did, or how he acted. And I truly hope he, like, Athena and Hen throw the book at him, like literally. I would not put it past Athena to walk in her spacesuit and like throw handcuffs on him. Like I just have that vision.
Honestly, I'd rather see Karen kind of throw the book at him. I feel
Oh
like that's
yeah,
way more powerful, being that that's her field. Where like, Hen and Athena, like yes, they went up there, but like I don't know. I feel like Karen that would just weigh a lot more.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
I want Karen to get the satisfaction.
Oh, for sure. And that because of what happened, it being like that, her company wins all the lawsuits against Trip.
Oh, that's what I'm hoping happens. I'm hoping that like they do that. But I don't know. That's what I want to happen and what I think should happen, but I don't know if they're gonna
Yeah.
go as far as that. I would hope so.
I don't know.
Yeah, and you know, I do wish Harry is really irritating me right now, and I get it. He's going through his own version of grief and loss, and the choices that other people in his life are making, he's not quite understanding or supporting or in a mental space himself to understand it. So I hope that they work on that with him and not just let it go and let him just kind of get off without, you know, acting the way he's been acting. It's kind of something that stood out to me, and but I'm really glad to see May stepping up a little more. And I know we'll talk a little bit about her, what she's doing in the promo. Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a good 911. Pretty typical, like get your emergencies, some funny stuff. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Do you have any fan thoughts?
Not very many. The only one, which I'm not even sure really pertains to like this episode, but I guess it's just general thoughts. And I did find it a little bit funny, but it was just like, Bobby died for this storyline realism. Don't even get me started on the Lone Star ripoff called Nashville with their off-brand Captain Nash at the 118 dupe station. And I'm like, we will talk about that eventually, but
we
like
will.
honestly valid. So I totally get it.
I personally have not watched Nashville Net because I have been too busy, but
Yeah.
I do want to watch it to at least give it a chance. But yeah,
Yeah.
I have heard a couple of things which have me intrigued,
okay.
but largely there is only one thing that I think might have me liking the show. Well, the rest of it, I think I might punch it through the wall. So
All right.
we will
I
see
have
what happens.
I have watched the one episode, did not watch the second episode, nothing personal, but I don't really care if I see spoilers for it because after one episode I'm not invested. I will say that.
That's
I
fair, yeah.
think the country accents are just tacky. It's
Mhm.
so unreal. There's a lot of copycat storylines from both the OG show and Lone Star. I'm pretty much only watching it for Taylor and Roxy. Everyone else is just like blah to me based on the one episode I watched, and
Yeah.
I don't know. And there's just other things. I don't know. It's kind of like when I watch it, I did live watch, and people are like, "Well, you need to give it a fair chance." For some people were, and I'm like, "No, I really don't, because this is my opinion, and like I will watch it, even if it is just to make fun of it." I was talking to one of my mutuals about it. She's like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm so against it, but like, maybe I will watch it to like judge it." And I'm like,
Oh,
it's kind of fun. And like I pretty
Yeah.
much review TV shows for as like part-time fun things,
right.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we did just hear that. I mean, I just heard that that a crossover with 911 is being planned either for later this season or next season. And I'm like, is this
I
your
did
way of
not hear that.
saying
I
that
did hear that.
911 is going to be renewed for another season and Nashville is too? Or
That's
I will
funny.
take the 911 news. I'd be like, yeah,
yes, exactly. I'm like, I
yeah.
haven't watched it enough to say. I have heard some stuff, but yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see.
don't know, because it's just like, and I don't mean to like compare them constantly, but it's honestly valid, so honestly, I'll keep doing it. But like,
Yeah.
no crossover is gonna ever compare to the Lone Star crossover. This is something that has been on my mind for the past few days. I've just thought about it ever since I heard that news. I was like, okay, no crossover is ever gonna compare to that. And I'm like, honestly, I kind of want to go watch the episode again because I remember how like iconic it was, like the
It was so
partnerships,
iconic.
like, you know, the Eddie and Judd we got, the Marjan and Eddie, the like TK
Mhm.
and Buck.
I wish we had gotten more TK and Buck dynamic. Like
Yes, me too.
Especially
truly,
like
one of the things I'm most mad about with Lone Star being canceled, and there are many things, but one of them I'm most mad about is that we will never get another crossover. And I was begging for it for seasons.
Yes, for sure.
especially
Totally
since we got
understand.
like the TK and Buck like before Buck came out, and not for the reasons that some twisted people might think. I'm not saying like for weird reasons. I'm just saying for like, you know, because like obviously like TK like said, you know, said like, "Oh, I have a boyfriend and things are kind of serious," and like implying things, or you know, having those feelings, and it's just
He
like
just rolls up and is
it's
like, wait, you're right.
Right.
You blocked me
yeah,
before I
literally.
did.
of course, share your fan thoughts for the next one.
Well, so the promo. Actually, I haven't had a chance to watch the whole thing yet. So, Katie, do you want to?
Yeah, I got this. This is my job.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's okay. I
Because
love
I
it.
almost never watch them. I almost never watch them. EJ, sometimes you're able to watch them.
Yes.
Katie is the
I'm like I basically like inhale everything that's out there. I'm trying to figure out a way to word that. Anyways, so promo. Maddie says how it's raining fire here. We see some explosions. Chim says dispatches the 118 at Persian Square Metro Link clear all railway track. And yeah, so we're getting like a train bit, which I'm kind of looking forward
Did
to.
Athena migrate onto the train? Like, is this what
Actually, no, but you know what? It's all relative, I guess. And
Or
then
no, actually, Abby's back. The actual train first.
then Buck says how they have to go right now to someone as there's like some sort of explosion. Athena says how the O2 supply is draining fast. And then May is telling Denny and Mara that the one thing she knows about their moms is they never give up. Then we see like Trip giving some stupid press conference, whatever thing, and saying how a rescue at this time is impossible. And Athena says to Hen that they're in this together, and Athena, I think she says mission control, do you copy, like at the very end? At least I think it was Athena. At first I was like, wait, no, I'm pretty certain it was. I don't know. But yeah, that was that. I was like, okay, well, you guys still have my attention, I guess.
Well, and of course, Trip doing a press conference saying that rescue mission is impossible. So I'm like, oh, so you're happily just letting go of the fact that your fiance is up there. Okay. Along with 2 first responders and 2 people that, yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, that's a really bad look.
Well, on top of the fact that all of his satellites are crashing all over the freaking place because they've lost
Yeah.
orbit and all their technology or whatever, and they're just crashing all over.
Also, didn't they say there are like 3,000 satellites or something
Yeah,
up
there's some
there? Like, it
crazy
was some
amount up there.
I don't know. But also the fact that Trip is like, oh no, rescue mission at this time is impossible. I'm like, so obviously there's another way. There's obviously a way to do this.
Right.
I don't trust a damn thing this man says.
No, not for one bit. I'm just like, we need to get through the next one so that way we can get away from this man. Like,
Yeah.
I love Mark Quincelis, but like Trip,
Yeah.
no, he can
Yes.
go
Wait,
back to
maybe
jail.
maybe he will get hit by a satellite. I feel like that is a likely
Ooh.
option at this point.
Maybe the 118 has to respond to the press conference because one of the satellites lands on him.
I don't think they're gonna try too hard. Okay, obviously, but like,
Right.
no, they would save him just simply so they could throttle him.
Right.
I don't know, but like I'm just envisioning. I'm like, I just kind of want this guy gone.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah. Anyway, so all fun things.
It's going to be interesting to see how they end up wrapping it up. Like you guys were saying earlier, like the different options of how they can go. And then not even the like the storyline right now, but just in general, like characters, like usually by the end of the arc, something major happens like within the characters. So I wonder what that's going to end up being. I have a feeling I know what it is, but I don't want to even say it because I'm like, it doesn't faze me either way, but
Yeah, I do have feelings, but I guess we'll wait until we get there.
yeah, for sure. I'm like, if it happens, then we can talk about it. If it doesn't, it was a thing that, yeah. So, you guys have any final thoughts?
Just
No.
ready for next week to roll around.
Yeah, for sure. Can't wait for the new episode. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and listening. Be sure to subscribe to wherever you get your podcasts and check us out on YouTube. For more, you can visit our website at 911lsroundup.com and come chat with us on Discord. The link is in the description below and on our website.
You guys can follow me, Katie, at For the Love of Tarlos on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads.
You guys can follow me, Grace, at Ronan Ratha 911 on Instagram and Threads.
You can follow me, EJ, at EJ8302 on Instagram and Threads. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.